Hi, I'm John Emmett, and it's great pleasure to be joined by Hannah. Hannah Snellgrove is a member of the British sailing team. She finished top 10 at the Worlds, and she's a triple national champion, so clearly one of the contenders for this event. And it's been a bit of a strange few months, hasn't it, with COVID-19? Can you tell us about some of your achievements and what you've been up to recently?
It's been very strange. So I actually have had a very strange year anyway, outside of COVID. So I had knee surgery back in February. So
Can you just tell us a bit about that? Because, sailors, especially laser sailors, we do think knees, backs, shoulders. I've done the triple. What happened to you?
I've done the double. So I did back in December. I've got a bulging disc, which is not so good.
Is that Mr. L5?
How do you know that? It is Mr. L5.
It's not a very exclusive club, unfortunately.
It's not, and it's one of those things that once you've sort of got an issue there, you just got to manage it. And I think it's the case for quite a lot of laser sailors. So yeah, all about keeping that core strong and protecting your back.
So now, do you know why I'm such an anal coach when it comes to core strength and hiking?
I know exactly why you think core strength is so important. Yes. So that was the back in December, and then we kind of figured whilst I was injured and having to sit out the Worlds in February in Australia, we would try and sort the knee problems that I've been having for the previous year out.
In hindsight, it was very, very good timing. Can you tell us exactly sort of what and when?
It was good timing. So it was February the 4th, I had knee surgery, and I remember it well. And they had to cut my patellar tendon in half and dig some chips of bone out. Lovely. But it was good timing in that everyone else was off the water exactly the same time that I was, which was not something that I would have imagined would have happened. So you felt.
I think not many people. If you had asked them 6 months before, people. I don't think anyone would have predicted that.
That is true. So I didn't have the sort of fear of missing out that I thought I was going to have, but equally it was quite nerve-wracking because lockdown happened. It was only a matter of weeks after I had surgery. So suddenly I didn't have physio access, didn't have gym access. So I just moved into a house in Portland, just bought my first house. Uh,
On the rock.
on the rock, top of the rock. So I converted my garage into a gym. That was the first little lockdown project.
What an industrious Hannah. And I've got to say, actually, you're probably quite lucky because if you had the operation just a few weeks later when hospitals were getting full of COVID, it could have been a very different scenario. So it's amazing to think.
Yeah, I was really lucky to get it done when I did, and also to have a bit of physio in that first critical period. Because I was just so nervous about pushing it as hard as we might have done otherwise, because I knew that if I messed up the rehab, there was no physio backup to try and put it back together. So that was a little bit scary.
But that's a top tip, isn't it, Hannah, for any sailors, young, old, full-time, club sailor. Like, if you have an injury, you need to respect the rehab.
Oh, 100%. And I think so many times you see people come back too soon and then they kind of put themselves back to square one or even square zero. So
Or minus one.
minus one. So last year with the trials process, and we were just kind of managing the knee injury, which happened February 2019. So we were just sort of having to almost put a sticky plaster on something that effectively needed stitches for a year. So it's really good to have kind of got the surgery out the way and hope.
But last year was a really good year for you, wasn't it? Am I right? Is that the first time you cracked top 10 in the world?
Yeah, first top 10 at the Worlds. I'd had a few top 10s in other regattas internationally, and I never made it all happen and piece it together at the Worlds. So that was a really nice feeling. And I did it in the last race, I think. So yeah, that was great.
Yeah, I mean, we're all very pleased for you. I did a little interview with Mickey, and the Worlds is just something very special. Also, triple national champion. I know because I've had quite a few seconds, as you as you pointed out, and I think that's also something which is really nice that everybody's here. We've had a lot of club sailing, but we've got at this nationals, we've probably got more of the top sailors than usual. What's your thoughts? We're obviously kicking off tomorrow, 3-day event. Fingers crossed.
Yeah, really exciting. I don't know if I didn't say that you've had seconds. You've won the Nationals more than anyone else put together. But
I really don't think that's true, but there we go. But what do you think about this reduced format? I mean, I've been incredibly impressed with Weymouth and Portland National Sailing Academy that they're hosting events very well, very safely, very structured at a time when a lot of people aren't. But at the same time, we're used to a 6-day nationals, and it's just 3.
Yeah, it's strange, but it's good. It's necessary, and it gets everyone back racing again. So that's the main thing, isn't it? It's just going to be more pressure condensed into a shorter space of time.
And it's a regatta for home for you now. Can I say that?
You can, but my heart is Team Limo to Lymington's home. So
On that note, wishing Team Limo the very best of luck, and I'm obviously a name to look for future. Hannah, thank you so much for your time.
thanks very much. Cheers.